Okay, two things I wanted to talk about this week. Not really gaming news because it's a bit of a slow week. The Game Awards is like, what, tomorrow? So a lot of the news is holding out for that. But instead, I wanted to talk about two games that I've been working on this week. The first is Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is an interesting one because it is designed for not me as a player, someone who doesn't have a lot of tolerance for like free to play stuff and battle passes, and also wasn't really an Overwatch person. I liked Overwatch 1 when it first launched. I was into it, but I fell off. Like I fall off with a lot of multiplayer games. Still, I made a video for Game Ranks. I did a quick before you buy for Marvel Rivals, and it's actually pretty good. I had played the beta, so I kind of saw this coming, but it is like a well-made, pretty high quality feeling, chaotic Marvel Overwatch type thing. I know the Overwatch, comparisons are contentious, but the reality is, as much as people are still playing Overwatch 2, it's definitely fallen out of the cultural conversation a little bit. And I don't know if a Marvel property is the thing to replace it, but at the very least, for right now, it's fun to play. As of right now, like I don't see quite the balance and nuance of something like Overwatch that kind of develops over time and the meta and stuff like that. But for right now, with 33 characters, I had a lot of fun just going through and kind of learning the ropes of some of the characters. Some of them are way easier to play with than others. Some absolutely clean up. Some you have to hang back for. And it's been cool to see. Now, I did say this in other videos. I don't always love the character interpretations. I am open to character interpretations in general. I am a comic book person, but some of these here just feel like mobile game corny, like surface level versions of the characters. The Punisher and Captain America's voice lines in particular are really bad. But on the other hand, all the character designs I think look very cool. They're definitely not for everyone. They're very like over the top and stylized, but I don't know. I think they're interesting to look at. And because it's a third person game, I like seeing these characters. The skins on offer so far, none have really enticed me. None have enticed me to spend any microtransaction money or anything like that. But it is cool that they do the movie tie-ins. You can get like the Deadpool and Wolverine costume, which, speaking of Wolverine, first of all, I like that Steve Blum does the voice. That's good. I know a lot of people are not into the Wolverine design. I'm going to be totally honest. I think it's pretty cool. Sorry. Like, I know it's kind of ugly and chunky, but I don't know, him with the sneakers, him with the jacket, and especially when his, Wolverine hair, the hackles really raise up. I don't know. I just think it's an interesting design. I've been staring at images of Wolverine for my entire life. And anytime I see something that looks a little cool or a little different, I go, oh, okay. Nice. Hey, now, next up, before we keep going, this video is sponsored by Oslo's Sleep Buds. Check these out. These are actually really cool. So Sleep Buds are designed to mask sounds and give you a better sleep. I was curious about these, so I looked up reviews and then I jumped in, specifically because my dog tends to sleep on my bed with me, and he snores. He's loud and he'll keep me up. So Oslo's tiny sleep buds are designed to gently, safely, and comfortably mask those sleep disrupting sounds. Then they fit in your ears very gently, very softly. They're really good for side sleepers as well. They're designed for that in mind. Then from there, you choose how to mask that sound. Either the great sounds provided by Oslo, very relaxing sounds, or use the Bluetooth feature to maybe have some ASMR type stuff, a quiet podcast, whatever you want. Most importantly, it comes with an all-night battery life and biometric sensing. So that way it can sense once you finally fall asleep and then turn your sounds off. And one thing I really like is that you don't have to use your phone. You can take advantage of the phone-free mode, and then you just have these by your bedside. You pop them open, you put them in your ear, and the previous sound you selected will start playing. That has been my favorite aspect because sometimes I really like to disconnect, but also most importantly, you can set a special alarm with these sleep buds to start gently waking you up when you need. Sleep buds are science-driven, designed for the best sleep experience of your life. And with that, what helps for me as a design nerd, the quality is really premium, comfortable, well-designed, smartly implemented. So if you want to check them out, big thanks to Oslo for sponsoring this video, but there's a QR code on screen here, or you can head to the link in the description down below, or use code Baldino to get $10 off your pair of Oslo sleep buds. Again, you can check them out by clicking the link in the description down below. Use code Baldino to get $10 off, and big thanks to Oslo for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. But like I said, it's a lot of fun just because it's all like really chaotic. It's definitely messy, but especially like when you're a melee character and you're up close and personal and stuff like that. But like the move sets for these characters are really fun to see play out. The fact that there are destructible elements in the environments makes things very satisfying, more than I expected, honestly. Even if it's not always like a big deal, to be blasted by an enemy through a pillar and like I was like, oh shit, I didn't think that would happen. That was cool. The team up moves also are really, I think the game's ace in the hole. I hope they lean into this more over time. Being able to team up as Rocket and Groot and blast everybody. Fastball special with Hulk and Wolverine, Spider-Man and Venom team ups. Like these little things you can trigger in the environment are really good and fun. They require not a ton of communication, but I think it's like if you want to communicate and you want to dominate, you can really do it with these special abilities. But just the fact that they're there, both passive and active, passive and active is really good. But also, it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's messy, it's whatever. Like you're not getting super sweaty with it or anything like that. But I am curious to see if it has those like big moments that really hold on. Like there are moments in Overwatch. There are like triggers in Overwatch. There are like memes that have come out of Overwatch that really made it special and made it hold on, in terms of gamers' minds. Now with this, it's like, when you hear Iron Man, fire off his ult, maximum pulse, or you hear the Hulk in the middle of a match saying, I'm hulking out. Like corny lines, yes, but those moments are the ones where you're like, oh, haha, yeah, I'm going to hear this a million times over again. So I'm curious to see like how that works, how all the balancing works, because it still seems like it's a little all over the place. But like I said, 33 different completely unique characters with cool, unique movesets and use cases has been nice to see. After the beta, like the levels and stuff, I found way more compelling, a little bit more interesting looking, which goes a long way. But it's basically the payload type thing, or like the capture point type thing. It's stuff we've done in multiplayer before, but now with all your fun, crazy Marvel characters. Like it does also feel like a NetEase game. That's the problem, is that, like I said, the characters feel like mobile game surface level interpretations, but that also applies to the battle pass and all that stuff. Now, the battle pass is like, it's permanent, I think, right? Like it's not going away, but the problem is that you can't just like level up the battle pass by playing. You have to do the dailies, you have to do all this other stuff. But like if you're just playing, for hours and hours, it's not really helping out your battle pass or anything like that. And that's something that people don't like. And that's what makes it kind of feel like a mobile game where it's like just designed to, just get you to hop in and play a little bit every single day. I don't really like that. I also, confession time, I don't even care. I hate talking about this stuff. I think multiplayer games still like, if a multiplayer game is good, you're going to play it regardless of progression. When it's well done, I like it. I used to love, in the early days of Call of Duty, leveling up my character, like the original Modern Warfare, like back in the day, or Rainbow Six Siege. Like I like progression in multiplayer. It can hook you, but I don't know. The modern interpretation of it seems overly complicated for the sake of it. And with this game also being a free-to-play model and having multiple, currencies and stuff, I'm just like, whatever. I don't want to talk about this. This shit sucks. It just feels cynical. It just feels designed around money and keeping you playing. It's a business, of course, but yeah. So that stuff they definitely need to figure out. But I'm glad at the end of the day, like the raw fun factor is there. Like it's actually just a blast to run around and fuck shit up as your favorite characters. Even if you suck like I do, you'll still end up having fun. Will it stick with me for the long term? I don't know. Probably not, man. But yeah, it's definitely worth downloading and checking out for yourself at some point. The other thing I played this week is Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. This is absolutely, so far from me, a mission accomplished, job well done, good, faithful remaster. It's actually very, very low key. Not a ton of settings, not a lot to do. Other than that, you have a launcher and you have the first 2 games and bonus content. The bonus content is really cool. There's a lot of cut levels, lore, incredible concept art, renders, and stuff like that. But the original games, especially the first one, the remaster really makes a difference. It has the thing where you can switch on the fly between the old graphics and the new graphics, and you really see it, and you really feel it here. It's still a very clunky, old, original PlayStation game. So, it's very simple, and you're just pushing crates a lot of the time and swinging at enemies. But at the time, this game was revolutionary for pushing a lot of crates, but also being able to flip those crates over. The game obviously does a lot. I think at the time, the biggest thing was the story. What you immediately get jumping into the original Soul Reaver is that there is a ton of love and care and craft put into the story and the world building. Even if it's just like a little polygonal, awkward, janky game, there is so much care and so much like passion behind this story and they're trying to tell in this world of fallen gods and godlike vampires and undead things and worlds between humans and vampires. Like there's just a lot to it. Now for me, I really came in with Soul Reaver 2, and this, when you flip back and forth between the new graphics and old graphics, it's not the biggest difference in the world, but it is a nice cleanup. Soul Reaver 2 definitely has a bit more in the combat department, a bit more in like what you're doing, and it continues the story. For me, as a kid, I was always a Blood Omen guy. I really liked the original Blood Omen, and I really liked Blood Omen 2. I know that's like the bastard son of this franchise, but just this world, the world of Nosgoth, the lore behind it, man, the Seraphim, the vampires, everything is just really, really unique. I keep like hammering that home here, is because while the first game you're playing through it's a very simple PlayStation 1 game, you're playing through for the story and the vibes. The atmosphere in this game, the look of the characters is still not really like anything we see today. Raziel himself is just so cool looking. He reminds me of like a Todd McFarlane like spin-off character. It's just cool shit. So ultimately, I think these are worth checking out. There is going to be some struggle with the first game for sure. Like you're definitely going to have issues. They didn't suddenly make it like this like incredibly playable, like over the top new thing. They kept it as it was. So the way I look at this is that now, because I had Soul Reaver 2 for Steam, and it's like sometimes I would fire it up and it just wouldn't work, or maybe you lost your old disc. So this to me seems like a very good like kind of preservation or continuation of those original games, keeping them alive. Yes, you have to buy it, but I think they really did a good job. This is Aspire and Crystal Dynamics, but it's the new Crystal Dynamics under Embracer Group. The Embracer Group bloodshed has been such a thing, but I'm glad that one thing has come out from it that does actually seem pretty competent and pretty awesome. They are something from my childhood. They're definitely a nostalgia thing, but something I also was pretty fuzzy on, pretty murky on. I haven't revisited these since they released. So I just think it's a really good way to get into these games. And I really hope something else comes from this, because they did a really good job with this. It seems like they didn't screw it up. They put the care and the budget and the marketing into it. So I hope this is a sign of things to come, a continuation of this world, this type of storytelling, these characters. I don't know, something, but I'll take anything. Those are the two things I wanted to talk about this week. I gotta go head to the Game Awards, so I'll be talking about that soon in other videos. What I don't really care about like who wins the awards, but really the announcements. So for now, let me know what you think of these games if you decided to jump into any of these this weekend. Clicking the like button does help me, though. I do appreciate that. I'm just trying to talk about stuff I love here on this channel. I think we need more of that online. So let me know what games you're playing. Let's talk about these, or Indiana Jones, or whatever you're on right now. But for now, I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. Subscribe because video games. Pizza's on me.